All right, let's go to Illinois. Look who's here. My man, Gavin. Gavin is 16 years old. Gavin is a teenager that likes to come in here and crack on old people. And you know what? I'm here for it. Get him right to the front of the line. What's up, G? How you doing, Gavin?
How you doing, Rome?
Good, dude. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good, especially considering I got my driver's license a few weeks ago, and all I've heard people say since is, uh-oh, better stay off the roads. It's dangerous now. All the teenage drivers are all the youngins are driving around. And to that point, there are a lot of stupid teenage drivers. But I think there's a much bigger threat on the roadways that at least I've observed. I'm sure most of you clones probably have too. All the old boomer drivers. Take old man Ritt, for instance. He doesn't have the capability to drive, but yet he still has a license somehow. Ritt has zero awareness of what he's doing while he's chugging down the road, 15 under the speed limit in his Oldsmobile. Then you got guys like Johnny in Texas. He's too busy trying to dish out crappy takes on the show and shoveling in a Whataburger and paying zero attention to actually driving. Watch yourself, clones. Dangerous time on the roadways. Speaking of old man Ritt, I was calling to accept your invitation to the Gavin v. Ritt showdown.
Game on.
AKA, what's that?
That's just Ritt playing sound. Gavin, that's just Ritt pushing buttons. Ignore the old man. You're cruising, kid. Just keep doing what you do.
Okay, sorry. I was here to accept the Gavin v. Ritt showdown, a.k.a. the teenage sensation versus the boomer army commander-in-chief. Here's some advice, Ritt. Start getting up at 2 a.m. so you can do your water aerobics or that fake slow-motion karate old people call exercise. Make sure and take your pain meds, too that early because hopefully they kick in by the time I yeet your old, dusty, mummified carcass all the way to the Grand Canyon. So, Ritt, what are you going to do? Cower behind that desk and do some fake work or step up to the challenge and represent the boomer army? Ball's in your court, Ritt. Thanks, Rome. I'm out.
Gavin. Go ahead and rack him. Gavin, you're on the watch list. You're not quite there yet. I'm not going to give you a golden ticket yet, but you're on the watch list, kid. All right, when we come back, Kelvin Sampson joins me. That's 16-year-old Gavin. Just got his driver's license. I like it. I like it. Shut up, Ritt. All right, I knew, Ritt. I knew that train wreck was coming. And here it is. Ritt's like, it's not on my watch list. You don't have a watch list, old man. Shut up. Get me to break. Kelvin Sampson's coming up next, and it is now officially Trainwreck Thursday. So I can't lie, it is pretty funny that we've got a 16-year-old kid calling the program. And not only calling the program, but has made a name for himself already on the program. Like, y'all know the kid. And the kid did call up and say, warn me, I got my driver's license. But here's what, he's like, unwarned, everybody's saying, uh-oh, everybody stay off the road. Uh-oh. And this kid's point is, hey, I'm not the threat here. I'm not the problem here. It's all the old folks like Ritt that are the problem. Now, remember, before Gavin called, I had also made a point of saying, it's Trainwreck Thursday. And I start every Thursday because we're down a man, because Alvin doesn't work on Thursdays, that it's Trainwreck Thursday. Because when Alvin doesn't work, that means Ritt sits in his spot. And Ritt's got this really unusual and unmerited sense of confidence about him. Like he's fearless, and not in a good way. Like in a clueless way. So you never know what might happen with Ritt, because Ritt thinks that every idea is a good idea. And he acts on every one of them. And bad things happen. So I've started to kind of get to a point where, since I can't fix the issue, I embrace the suck. I embrace the Ritt. And then all of a sudden, when bad things don't happen, I'm disappointed. That's why I started to say, Ritt, where's the train wreck? Where's the train wreck? That train's not coming off the tracks. But notice I did say, there's 45 minutes left in the program, and a lot can happen between now and then. And then something happened. The kid called. The kid went in on the old man, and then the old man did something that's just not done on the program. Something that Alvin never does on the program. Ritt started to play sound drops in the middle of the kid's call. We don't do sound drops in the middle of calls. Oh, but Ritt does. Because it's Ritt's freaky world. And the rest of us are all living in it. Obviously, the kid got caught.
Speaking of old man Ritt, I was calling to accept your invitation to the Gavin v. Rit Showdown.
Game on.
AKA, what's that?
I mean, and the kid reacted perfectly. He said, "What's that?" Wait, did you say something? Like he's talking, and then I guess he thought that I said something, and he couldn't make out what I said because normally when people do their calls, I let them do their calls, but not Rit.
What's that?
Rit not only did a sound drop during the call, he did a sound drop of himself, like he was
Speaking
reacting.
of old man Rit, I was calling to accept your invitation to the Gavin v. Rit Showdown.
Game on.
AKA, what's that?
So the kid is accepting the fight with Rit, and Rit wanted to make sure the kid knew that he was accepting his acceptance of the fight with the old man.
Speaking of old man Rit, I was calling to accept your invitation to the Gavin v. Rit Showdown.
Game on.
AKA, what's that?
All right, so if you listen to that, the first one is not him hitting a button. That's me kind of going when he called him old man Rit. That's me trying to stifle a laugh. Listen.
Speaking of old man Rit, I was calling to accept your invitation to the Gavin v. Rit Showdown.
Game on.
AKA,
What's
that?
that? So it was only a matter of time before Rit started doing Rit things, namely playing drops. Not only playing drops during a call, but playing drops of himself during a 16-year-old's call. You want to talk about a spectrum. I've got both the youngest and oldest people in the entire jungle in the same call. A 16-year-old and an 86-year-old. I think I'd like to hear that one more time, old man.
Speaking of old man Rit, I was calling to accept your invitation to the Gavin v. Rit Showdown.
Game on.
AKA, what's that?
The whole thing is just so good. Me going... And then Gavin, with his 16-year-old voice, calling out the old man, and the old man popping, "Game on." What's that? And I'm just like... So here's the reaction. I had to set that up to get to the reaction.
Get rid of Rit.
Ken in SA, a.k.a. at Sports Honk, SA Sports Honk, I should say. Gavin is on the phone. Must be spring break. The thing is, he's on the phone even when it's not spring break. This says, in what universe is that little bleep smack-off worthy? Kid can barely even read his script. Chad in Orlando. In what universe is he smack-off worthy? The same universe, Chad, where your beef about your mother-in-law pronouncing wolves as wolves gets read. That universe, Chadney. The reason the kid can barely read his script, quote unquote, is because the old man keeps firing sound drops of himself. That's why.
Rit, you suck.
Daniel tweets, Gavin is awesome. Give that young man a golden ticket so he can kick boomer clone ass in the smack off. I'm thinking about it. He's not there yet. He's got to earn it. I'm not going to just give it to him because of his age. He has to earn it, but he's getting there. Romy, Rit dropping sound bites during Gavin's call is hilarious. An adult picking on a child is such a boss move. Regards, people that tailgate student drivers. I'm telling you, Geoff, it's a numbers game, isn't it? If you send me 8 million things, Geoff, one of them will hit like that. Adults picking on a child is such a boss move. Haunted Horse tweets, Jim, did Rit spend the entire break talking about that little whippersnapper disrespecting him and how he's going to get that rascal someday? That little whippersnapper.
Finally.
Why are you playing that song right now, Rit? That's supposed to go into the last break, not the end of the show. Man, that whippersnapper's got beachfront real estate inside your head, Rit. That whippersnapper is winning, dude. Which means you're losing, old man. Trainwreck Thursday, brought to you by Rit.